Hey now, welcome to the WST post-game reaction. We are live from Canada Life Centre. Michael Remis with Connor Hrabchak following the Winnipeg Jets 4-0 win in Game 2 of the second round series versus the Dallas Stars. What a night here at Canada Life Centre, Friday night. Everyone's got KFC, that's Kyle, freaking Connor, buckets on their head. Late start, Jets coming in down 1-0 and reinforcements in the lineup. Josh Morrissey in, Luke Shen out, Hayden Fleury, who's played really well the last couple of games, remaining in, Colin Miller going to the third pair, and on Dallas, still no Miro Heiskanen. What'd you make of the lineup changes coming in?
Yeah, I think the biggest news obviously is Josh Morrissey, but tactically, I really liked the idea of the Fleury-Miller third pair. Obviously, we saw in Game 1 that this series is going to be much less physical than the St. Louis one. The physicality definitely ratcheted up a little bit in this game, but nowhere near what we saw in the St. Louis series, and I think having Fleury-Miller as a third pair, moving the puck out of the zone, getting to Winnipeg Jets hockey is a really good move by Scott O'Neill. Recognizing what the style of the series is very early in it. And obviously, Josh Morrissey, I don't really need to say much about him. Having him back in the lineup changes so much of the dynamic for this Winnipeg Jets team.
Yeah, you saw really early in the last series, like, hey, this is going to look a lot different.
Yeah.
You don't have that hatred, maybe not yet, 2 games in. You don't have that hitting every time you hit the puck. A lot more time and space, a lot more room to skate. And you saw some players take advantage of that tonight. I will say, I'm not sure about you, but I thought the crowd, maybe Friday night, there was a bit of a hangover in Game 1 after the excitement of the way Game 7 ended. I thought they were certainly brought it. You could tell leading into the Jets hitting the ice.
Yeah, this has become the standard now here at the Winnipeg Whiteout. The MVP chants before the game, the loud ovation. Josh Morrissey was part of the starting lineup as well. He got a super loud ovation from this crowd as he returned to the lineup. And yeah, the Winnipeg Whiteout, they brought it, and they had a lot to cheer for as we get into the game.
Yeah, and you talk about Winnipeg Jets wanting to have a good start. We mentioned on the last one, Outshot was a 9-0 start, and good opportunity for the Jets. Tyler Seguin, high stick on Josh Morrissey, drew a little bit of blood, and the Winnipeg Jets with a 4-minute power play. And, the first unit goes out. Ehlers at the chance at the side of the net. I thought Cole Perfetti looked really confident when power play 2 got out, and they did eventually score. Josh Morrissey up top. He passes to Ehlers, tries to backhand it to Velarde, gets blocked, shoots it on net, and Velarde hits home the rebound. That's the first power play goal of the series for the Winnipeg Jets, which was an area of concern after Game 1.
Yeah, and great start for the Winnipeg Jets. Getting on the power play, getting a power play goal. This is exactly what you wanted if you were a Winnipeg Jets fan going into this game. The power play was a big concern. Gabriel Velarde, 15,000 people here with Kyle Connor buckets on doing the Macarena. The whiteout was going nuts. And the early goal, like the atmosphere was crazy in here. And yeah, nice to see Gabe Velarde too. I think he's getting better by the game. And nice to see him get rewarded there. Obviously, he's just tapping this puck in. Nikolai Ehlers does the majority of the work there, putting it off the post. But Gabe Velarde gets the Jets on the board, and it was a really good start.
Coming into this game, we said, okay, who are 2 players that need to make a statement, need to make an impact in this series? You could even say 3. Gabe Velarde and Nikolai Ehlers, they've been coming back from injury, finding their game. You saw them get on the score sheet tonight. Nikolai Ehlers in a big way, and Connor Hrabchak as well. We said Connor Hrabchak needs to come into this series and steal a game, and it was in the second period where he really made some massive saves. But it was Josh Morrissey now gets a tripping call after that penalty. He gets tangled up with Tyler Seguin. Seguin falls. Morrissey called for tripping, but the Jets penalty kill went to work. Dylan Samberg blocked a shot. Adam Lowry ended up with a breakaway, couldn't score on, and the Jets were able to kill that one off. And you really saw the crowd get on Mikko Rantanen for the first time, bringing the boos.
Every time he touched the puck, he got booed, and this is vintage Canada Life Centre. I remember back in the day, they would always boo the other team's best player, Mikko Rantanen, coming off back-to-back hat tricks. They're trying to do whatever they can to get in his head, and obviously booing him every time he touched the puck. But the penalty kill, this was a big one, start of the game. I mean, yes, there are more crucial penalty kills, and we'll get into it later on, but you just took a 1-0 lead and you took a penalty. To take the air out of the building would be really tough, and there was one play on this penalty kill. Dylan Samberg made a really nice zone entry denial on Mikko Rantanen and then cleared the puck, and Adam Lowry got on a breakaway, tried to go 5-hole on Jake Ottinger, which he often does, the 5-hole for Adam Lowry, but Ottinger made the save, but I thought it was a really strong penalty kill to start the game.
Yeah, and right after that one, so the penalty kill ends with 13:56 remaining, 12:53 remaining. Nikolai Ehlers centers the puck, goes off Esa Lindell's skate and in, and that's Nikolai Ehlers from Hayden Fleury and Mark Scheifele, and it's 2-0 Jets.
And I think Nikolai Ehlers, I used the term earned his luck a couple games ago. I think in this game he had 2 goals. One was an empty netter, one was a bank shot. I think he earned his luck on this night. I thought he was one of the Jets' best forwards, controlling play, controlling the puck in the offensive zone as he often does. Really, we saw the legs. Ken Wiebe was on with Hustler the other day talking about how Nikolai Ehlers' legs are coming along, but his hands aren't quite there. I think this is the first game we see his hands there as he got the 2 goals in this game. And if you think about it, we were 1 post away on the Gabriel Velarde goal from having every Kyle Connor bucket hat thrown onto the ice when Nikolai Ehlers scored his empty netter. If that goes posting in on that first goal of the game, that's a hat trick for Nikolai Ehlers. He scores this one and then he scores the empty netter, but Gabriel Velarde punched that one in to give the Jets a 1-0 lead. But Nikolai Ehlers, did he call bank on this one? I'm not sure. Wasn't asked about it post game, but Jets are winning 2-0 nonetheless.
Yeah, and you mentioned how different this series looks. So, like 12:13 left. In the first period, there was 3 hits on the hit counter. And I remember...
It'd be in a minute.
Yeah, Niederreiter would have the puck and get hit 3 times. It's just wild, the difference from series here. I think you're seeing the Jets relax. You saw them get to their game tonight. You're over that hump. You're not getting hammered every single time. And I think that is also part, as you mentioned, part of why they were able to put in Hayden Fleury and Colin Miller as that third pair for skating and puck moving. And the Jets went to the box again. Dylan DeMello gets tangled up with Tyler Seguin in net and high sticking on DeMello, and they go to the penalty kill again. But Dallas gets another penalty after Adam Lowry tripped by Jamie Benn, and so they would get another 90 seconds here of power play time after that.
Yeah, and this really was a penalty-filled first period, and it was one where the Jets' special teams had to be huge. This play, this Adam Lowry tripping call, I'm going to talk about Dylan Sandberg once again, but the Dallas Stars couldn't enter the zone on his side of the ice. He denied entry twice on this penalty kill, and then they tried to go to the other side, and it was offside, and the Jets eventually cleared it, got out of the zone. Iafallo and Lowry had a 2-on-2, ended up drawing a tripping, and that's how you kill a penalty. This was the Dylan Sandberg period. His first period, he completely shut down Mikko Rantanen, 2 power plays for the Stars. He was dialed in all night long, and it started in the first period for sure.
Yeah, the Jets did get that 1 power play goal in the first power play, but were not able to capitalize later on. And I think you saw early Connor Hrabchak dialed in, flasher leather on Mason Marchment. And there was the one weird play, Connor, where it looked like a Dallas player was changing and hit his skate and they blew the whistle, but it wasn't a penalty. I don't know what they said about that one on the broadcast.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was
strange play.
That was a strange one. And end of the period, Jason Robertson, a giveaway from Neil Pionk, and ripped one, and Hrabchak swallowed that one up.
Big stop. How many times in the St. Louis series? I think it was 4 times they let in a goal in the final minute of a period. You play this fantastic period. You outshoot the Stars 13-7, and you have a 2-0 lead. That turnover could have cost the Jets, and it could have been 2-1, but Connor Hrabchak, top of his crease, confident save. He was dialed in all night long, and what a game from him. His first shutout of the playoffs, of course, 22 saves in this one. He was the MVP, Connor Hrabchak, and every time he made a big save, this crowd was chanting MVP, and we're going to get into the second period here. That's where he really shined in this game.
Yeah, second period was really a tale of 2 halves. I thought the first half, the Jets absolutely dominated, which led to them taking that 3-0 lead. In the second half, it was the Connor Hrabchak show, making highlight reel save after highlight reel save. Adam Lowry tipped a shot. There were a couple nice tips that didn't go in, but this one grazed the crossbar. Alex Iafallo with a chance, and the Jets are out shooting Dallas here. Halfway through, 14-9, and after tons of pressure. Shot off the boards, goes to Adam Lowry, and he gets it and roofs it over Jake Ottinger, and it's 3-0 Jets.
And what a shift this was. This Lowry line shift, they spent like a full minute in the offensive zone, cycling it, winning pucks back, tenacious on the forecheck. Everything you want to see from this Lowry line going up against the Stars' best players. They were matched up with the Rupert Hintz, Mikko Rantanen, Mikael Granlund line all night long, and the other top line for the Dallas Stars with Wyatt Johnston on it, who I thought was the Stars' best player on this night. But this was a meat and potatoes shift, if you will. They had the puck in the offensive zone for a long, long time, and they got rewarded for it. Adam Lowry, I thought he played a really good game as well. We talk about the penalty kill and how big those were in the first period. Adam Lowry was a big part of that and obviously got rewarded with the goal here. So great shifts from the Lowry line. It was some weird moments in the second period, and the Lowry line almost just went out and said, we're going to keep this puck in the offensive zone for as long as we can, and it ended with a goal.
Yeah, you mentioned special teams. The Jets ended the night 1 for 5 on the power play, but the penalty kill had to be good at times, and it was solid, a perfect 3 for 3. And I don't know which save, Connor, in the second period was your favorite one by Connor Hrabchak. I have Wyatt Johnston dangling in, seemingly having a ton of time. It goes off the post. We did have some bad blood. It was Morgan Barron and Brandon Tanev in the box, and Bichel and Petrovic getting, dropping the gloves. It wasn't called for fighting.
Roughing, yeah.
Right, there was some roughing. But yeah, Hrabchak making saves off rebounds and diving to make saves, sliding over with a casual pad save. Mikko Rantanen, he robbed him. It was the Hrabchak show there in the second half of the second period.
Man, the biggest save off of Evgeny Dadonov, in my opinion. Dadonov, the puck pops to him. Connor Hrabchak's kind of late getting over, but he's right on time. Slides across, big glove save right off the cheater part of the glove, right on the bottom of the glove. And Josh Morrissey boxes out Wyatt Johnston in the crease and swipes the puck away with his glove. There was a lot to like. There was a defensive breakdown there. There's a reason Evgeny Dadonov was wide open in the slot and Connor Hrabchak had to make a ridiculous save. But from that point forward, this crowd was chanting MVP all period long. He made a backdoor save on Jamie Benn as well. Just an incredible second period from Connor Hrabchak, who looked the best he has all playoffs long, and that is fantastic news for the Winnipeg Jets. Not only did they even this series, it's a best of 5. They won 4-0. Connor Hrabchak, this team's MVP, looked dialed in this game, and that is a big development.
Yeah, he stopped 21 shots of 21
Took a shot away. Come on.
He stopped all 21. And, looked great doing it. And we said, okay, he needs to steal a game at some point. I don't know if he stole this one.
But he was big.
But he was definitely a big, he kept Dallas off the board and played like, he played during the regular season. And we hadn't seen that all playoffs. And since, the third period of Game 7 against St. Louis, he's looked more like himself. We'll have to see, when they go on the road, if they can replicate their game, because it did not go well on the road. But this Jets team feels like they have a new life after escaping from Game 7, and they're in, I don't want to say more, they seem to be more relaxed here against Dallas.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing on that point going from Game 1 to Game 2 is Scott O'Neill said after Game 1 that he thought his team rushed plays. They thought they were going to get whacked every time they had the puck, and after making a rushed play, they realized, I had more time to make that play. I think in this game, you saw them take the time that was given to them. The Jets had the puck on their stick a lot. When Dallas was doing what they were doing, it was mostly transition off the rush stuff, which the Jets will obviously have to clean up going into Game 3. But when the Jets are at their best, they are possessing the puck. They're on you on the forecheck. Their gap in the neutral zone is extremely sound. And I thought you saw all 3 of those phases working, as well as an MVP level goaltender bailing them out when they did break down. But yeah, I thought the Jets took their time to make plays in this game, which maybe they didn't do in Game 1.
Yeah, at the end of the second period, Mikko Rantanen takes a penalty cross-checking Dylan Sandberg in a battle in front. Did get called for high sticking, if you want to get technical there.
Yeah,
and the Jets did start the third period on a power play, which did capitalize on the first one, but weren't really able to get anything going. Maybe the best chance, Nikolai Ehlers shooting the puck over the glass from the side of the net.
Yeah, maybe. And I will say, I don't know what you thought, Remo, but I thought the power play, in Game 1, they went 0 for 4. Tonight, they went 1 for 5. Obviously, they got the 1 goal. But even on the ones that they didn't score in this game, I thought they were generating a lot more around the side of the net. Nikolai Ehlers, that chance that you mentioned there, he had a few of those in this game where he was able to walk right out. That was something he had in Game 1 as well. But the Jets seemed to be getting it more consistently. Josh Morrissey was taking point shots as well. Nice to see him back on that top unit. And I really thought the Jets were snapping it around. You saw the cohesion. Scott O'Neill said it was the first time that all of those players had played in a game since Game 71 of the regular season. We're in Game 90 or 91 now. I've lost track already, but it's been a while since they've had their full top power play back, and I thought they were snapping it around. You saw that cohesion, even though they only went 1 for 5.
Yeah, and I think as you've seen with Velarde and Ehlers needing some games to get back, now that you have the power play back, they look good at times. There were opportunities. maybe you can see them capitalize a bit more later on in the series. It was interesting that Nikolai Ehlers was asked about the power play, what he saw on their first goal, and he gave the vague answer that they looked at video and saw some things and made adjustments. Is that what he said there?
Yeah, I think so. And I believe him. Like, I know it's a vague cliche answer that they looked at the tape and made some adjustments, but I thought that the Jets were getting more of what they wanted in this game. You saw the bumper open up a little bit more. I know Davis Payne, the power play coach, doesn't like the term the bumper. He likes using the word pop, so let's use that. The pop. Either Nikolai Ehlers is in the middle or Gabe Vilardi. Every single player and every single position is interchangeable on this power play, and I think that's when they're at their best, and you saw that tonight.
Yeah, and one thing about Josh Morrissey, he spoke after, and John Liu of TSN asked him about his injury, if he wanted specifics, and Morrissey's answer was, well, I couldn't play before, and now I'm good to play. So that's all you're gonna get at this.
That was it. Yeah,
that's all you're gonna get at this time of year. But the third period, the Jets got to their game. Were able to shut down the Stars. Stars pulled their goalie very early briefly, with like 7 minutes left when there was a 4-on-4. There were some penalties. Thomas Harley starts cross-checking Ehlers, and referees do nothing. So Ehlers like, hey man, you're cross-checking me. Come on. Yeah. And they both got sent to the box. Playoff hockey, right?
Playoff hockey. Both, they're taking 2 every time in the playoffs. I will say this third period, the Jets shut everything down. Nikolai Ehlers gets the empty netter eventually, but there was a penalty kill late. The Stars had some chances. I marked down a Connor Hrabchak save off Cody Ceci early in the period. Yes, it's Cody Ceci. He's not the most talented shooter on the Dallas Stars, hardly from it, but still in a high danger shot. He looked top of his crease, made a big confident save, and when Connor Hrabchak's dialed in, I've said this before, he makes difficult saves look routine. He swallows up rebounds. And tonight, I thought the Jets did a really good job of clearing rebounds when there were those to be had for the Dallas Stars. They didn't have those second opportunities, and I thought that was a big reason why the Jets shut out the Dallas Stars on this night.
Yeah, the cross-checks were coming out of Bishel. Mestikov, dangerous-looking one. He was okay. And Colin Miller had to get one in at the end of the first period, or the end of the third period there, and they had a brief penalty kill. And Nikolai Ehlers with the lengthy empty net goal to ice it 4-0. The crowd goes nuts, and the series is tied 1-1 heading back to Dallas.
Best of 5, and the Jets will have to regain home ice advantage on the road. Now, this is the part of the series where it'll get really interesting. No one on Dallas except for Mikko Rantanen has scored a goal yet. And I like I said to you in the second intermission of this game, I thought Wyatt Johnston could have been tonight's Mikko Rantanen for Dallas, where he had a hat trick and we wouldn't have been shocked. But Connor Hrabchak was so dialed in. He robbed Wyatt Johnston a few times. Wyatt hit the post on that one shot on his backhand. I thought he was the Stars' best player, not Mikko Rantanen. Credit the Jets for shutting him down. But going on the road, role players and the bottom 6 for the Dallas Stars is going to play a lot better on their home ice. So it'll be up to the Jets to not have those, 5-minute stretches where they just collapse like they did in St. Louis. And Connor Hrabchak coming off a shutout, can he carry that onto the road where he's been pulled in every game so far in these playoffs?
Yeah, so Sunday afternoon, next Mother's Day, 3:30 p.m. game. We should mention, I did see a Dallas radio host mention that, Mikko Rantanen, he's been involved in the last 12. Well, that's 12 goals that, the other players haven't scored. So they're going to need someone else to step up.
Scoring.
Yeah, it can't just be Mikko Rantanen all the time, and we want to see some secondary scoring from the Jets. We got that tonight. Lowry, Nikolai Ehlers with a big game as well. Looking forward to seeing what they can do on the road, as they did lose every game on the road in the previous series. Looking at ice time, fairly even. Scott O'Neill mentioned how he liked the play of the fourth line. Fourth line, Morgan Barron, 10:18, Tanev, 10:04, Iafallo, 13:51. On the defense, Josh Morrissey, in his return, an assist, and a point, +2, 22:39. Leading all defensemen, Neil Pionk, who continues to play very solid defensively as well, 22:07. DeMello, 19:01. Sandberg, 20:59. And how about that third pairing, Colin Miller, 12:49. Fleury, 14:40. This was a textbook Winnipeg Jets win, and looked like the Jets team we saw with everyone back like they were in the regular season.
That's Winnipeg Jets hockey. That is the template that this team is going to look to carry onto the road. And let's just quickly talk about Hayden Fleury, because he had a big hit on Mason Marchment late in the second period. Marchment was hobbling, actually went down the tunnel, but returned for the third period. But I thought Hayden Fleury and Colin Miller both played fantastic on that third pair. And the biggest stylistic difference from going from a Fleury Miller to a Stanley Shen is there's going to be less physicality, of course, but Hayden Fleury brought that in this game regardless. But they're moving the puck up the ice quicker. They're contributing more offense, getting the puck out of their zone. I thought they did a really good job being efficient on their zone exits. And when Hayden Fleury can bring the physicality element as well, I mean, like this is the best case scenario for the Jets' third pair. So I'd expect them to not change a thing going into game 3, because I really liked how Fleury and Miller played in this one.
Yeah, just on forwards, Adam Lowry, 15-26. We have a surprise to see Cole Perfetti, solo 13-55. Niederreiter, 17-11 is really a lot of that Lowry Niederreiter combo that helped shut down Dallas. So 4-0. They're taking off for Dallas tomorrow, and hopefully they can continue this. And Josh Morrissey noted that momentum doesn't go from game to game in the playoffs, but it is within the game. But they'll look to keep it rolling, as you mentioned, get that home ice advantage back when they're in Dallas.
Yeah, next one is Mother's Day, Sunday at 3:30 p.m. We'll have everyone covered here on the post-game reaction, of course. And I don't know, Remo, I don't know what you think, but I think that, I mean, it's tough because they haven't really kept a game close on the road once in this playoffs, but I'd feel good about the Jets getting one on the road, especially with how Connor Hrabchak played in this game. And the Jets obviously know that momentum doesn't carry game to game, as you noted there from Josh Morrissey, because in St. Louis, they had a 2-0 series lead, and then St. Louis came out and beat them 7-2 in game 3, and the Jets got ran out of the building. So I'd still expect that desperation to be there from the Jets that you saw on this night, because they're not in a 2-0 series lead. They need to get home ice advantage back. They need to get one of these games on the road. And why not have it be Mother's Day for all the mothers watching on Sunday at 3:30?
Yeah, we're not going to have any injury watch for the Jets. Everyone's back. We're not going to be dialed into morning skate, who's wearing what color jersey.
What are we going to ask Arneal tomorrow?
It feels weird. And for Dallas, they're hoping Miro Heiskanen came back. A huge hole on their defense with his puck-moving ability. And
I do want to say quickly on Heiskanen, that added to the pressure, I want to say, to win this game. Not only you go down 2-0 and then you go on the road, like that is enough pressure to win this game, but Dallas is going to get Miro Heiskanen back. Pete DeBoer said that at the start of the series. He's going to come back in this series at some point. So to go down 2-0 to a team that is getting Miro Heiskanen back would be worst case scenario. So to get this win was huge, and the way the Jets did it was obviously ideal as well.
Yeah, and you look at the 3 stars of the game, no debate there. Adam Lowry, 3rd star with a goal. Nikolai Ehlers, 2nd, 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. And Connor Hrabchak with the shutout. And I've seen so many times in our comments over the season, over the playoffs, Connor Hrabchak can never get it done. He's never won a big game. I think he's shown here that Connor Hrabchak from the regular season, MVP Connor Hrabchak, has certainly arrived here in the postseason.
Connor Hrabchak playoff shutout. That is something that happened on this night. And I don't know. I don't think Stars fans will be chanting, "We want Connor" on the road. Well, maybe they will be. I don't know. We'll see.
We don't know.
Maybe Connor Hrabchak can carry it through, but we definitely want Connor to start game 3 here in Winnipeg, because he was absolutely dialed in. Like I said, easily his best game of the playoffs. His only other one close would be game 2 against St. Louis, where he stopped 21 of 22, so 1 goal shy of a shutout in that one. But incredible, made difficult saves look routine, like Josh Morrissey said about his goaltender after the game. So we'll see if Connor Hrabchak can carry that performance onto the road, where he struggled in St. Louis.
Yeah, well, Connor, I think it's 12:34 p.m. here as we sign out from Canada Life Center. I think we've said it all. I don't think there's anything
I think
else
so too.
we can add here. All right, for Connor Hrabchak, I'm Michael Remis. This has been the Winnipeg Sports Talk post-game reaction.